it's a weird world out there, and we can't let that world dictate how we're going to behave and how we're going to act, and the type of people that we'll become. What is going on? Welcome to another brand new episode of the Risen Fallen podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. I am still your host, Mark Hendrickson, and if you are brand new to this podcast, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you're not feeling good about where you are right now, at least having the confidence knowing that you are making one step towards where you'd like to be in the future, and every single day lifting other people up as well. And if you're not new to this show, if you have listened to the show or watched the show before, whether you watch this on YouTube, listen to this on any podcast platforms or anything like that, then I wanted to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for coming back, supporting the journey, supporting the show, and supporting the movement. And so if you're brand new to this or not, regardless of that, I just wanted to say thank you very much for being here. You are the reason that I do what I do. So, happy Thursday. We are pounding through this week. We're doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well, I should say. I hope you guys are doing pretty well as well. It is officially fall. It's been officially fall apparently for a couple weeks now, but it feels like it here. The runs are getting rainier. The mornings are a little bit colder and darker, and it is officially fall. Some of the sunny days are very crisp, and the air is nice and crisp and light, and it's sunny out, but it's not too warm. It's pretty cool out, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked for fall. And so, happy Thursday. I wanted to share a little recent story, a personal story that I've gone through recently. And I guess that's just called a recent personal story. But I wanted to go over a recent event where I got to basically almost be a vigilante. And so during the day, as you guys know, I work as a carpenter. I do home renovations and restoration work. Kind of a contractor, but not really all the way there yet. Yeah. So during the day, the other day, I go to the hardware store, the lumber store, to go and grab a bag of nails, do some casing around some windows. So I had to go and grab some nails. So I get to the store, I pull up, I lock my truck, I start walking in, and I notice right as I'm parking my truck, there's this guy who is laying on the ground like a Family Guy character, like just completely ragdolled. And he's laying in front of a wheelchair, and then there's another guy, and he's kind of just violently screaming at the guy carrying a bunch of bags, and they're both kind of very visibly, obviously frequent drug users, hardcore drug users, and if you catch my drift, and they probably were not sober at the time. And so, I didn't know much about the situation, but I just see this guy yelling violently at the guy laying on the ground, thinking like, did this guy just rob him? Do they know each other? Is he keeping those bags, presumably from the other guy, safe while he's laying on the ground? Tons of thoughts are running through my mind, and so the guy goes to like the underground parking and starts smoking some unknown substance out of a pipe. A little glass pipe, and me and the guy that work at said lumber store are thinking we need to get help for the guy laying on the ground. We should call an ambulance and get that sorted out. And so him and I call an ambulance. Wow. This is where my vigilante services come into play. I get to tail the other guy and just kind of see what he's all about and see what's going on with him. And so the long and short of it is I end up following this guy around a couple different alleys. I never really make any direct contact with him verbally or anything like that, but he kind of knows I'm just kind of watching him and seeing what's going on, waiting for the cops to show up, and I'm not wanting him to get away with this bag of goodies. So I just kind of tail him a little bit and follow him around. And he gets to this one alley and he just completely disappears by the time I get to the corner. And so I'm looking down the alley. I ask these other two guys that are having a smoke in the alley. I'm like, did you see this guy? And they're like, no, he didn't come down this way. So I backtrack a little bit, check out this little hedge in the alley, and I'm like, what's going on here? I don't have my glasses on, and the lighting's kind of off, so I'm looking into these hedges that are at the end of this alley, and I just see a pair of hands like 2 feet in front of my face. And so I take a step back thinking, oh, this is our culprit probably. So I'm like, all right, well, I know where he is. I can take a step back. And as I'm walking back towards Buddy on the phone with the cops and the first responders or whatever, he's like kind of gesturing behind me to look behind me. So I look behind me, and there's our buddy creeping out of the bushes towards my back. And so I turn around, I look at him, I brace myself, and I think this is either, this is one of those do or die moments. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not going to physically engage until he does. But like, I'm just going to watch his behaviors as he approaches me here. And he ends up just walking right past me. I'm going through my head with all types of different moves that I could think of how I would dismantle him if he did make any movements towards me. But I think Buddy kind of weighed his odds and made the right decision. He just walked right past me. But I really, the fact that he's just yelling at different people, the fact that he's yelling at his buddy on the ground, I don't know if they're buddies, but he's yelling at Buddy on the ground. He's yelling at women and children as they walk by. And my gut instinct just tells me it's not right to leave this situation right now. And that was kind of like the first thing that crossed my mind is like, dude, can I go back to work? Like, what's going on here? Like, I didn't ask for any of this. It's Friday afternoon, and I'm just trying to get some nails to go back to this house and do some window casing. And now I've got to deal with this. And so I had the thought for a bit to just turn around, walk away, and wipe my hands clean of the situation and say, this is not my job. This is not my responsibility. We've already called the people that can come in and clean up this problem. But, so do I really need to stick around? Do I really need to be here? And my gut instincts told me, these are the moments that we prepare for in life. These are the moments that, we don't want to regret. When we have this instinct that something feels off, that something's not right, and if I were to turn a blind eye right now, things could go south pretty quick. And so knowing that this guy was kind of violently yelling at people around him, there's women and children, like this broad day, like this is 11:45 in the morning, early afternoon on a Friday in Vancouver. And, I kind of thought, these are the moments that we prepare for. These are the things that we really, when we want to, the moments where things get intense and we feel uncomfortable and we think, this is not my job. This is not my responsibility. I have other things to do. I have a busy lifestyle. I have so many other priorities. But for me, I just wanted to make sure that these are the moments that we prepare for. These, moments where just our presence can make someone not just feel safe, but be safe. Just having, masculine men in the area, tough masculine men who are able to protect those less physically able to protect themselves around, people that are unpredictable and have proven themselves to be at least, having the threat of violence to other people. It's not fair for everybody else to be there and fall victim to that. And so even though, maybe it's not always our responsibility, it's not always our job, it's not like somebody is holding us to do the right thing. It's up to us, and those are the moments that we prepare for, to do the right thing and to be the right person, to be the type of person that you'd be proud of, the type of person that you'd want around your children. the type of person that's going to stay there until the dust settles. They're not going to just, do the bare minimum and say, okay, yeah, my job's done. I called the people that can come and clean this up. My job's done, and I did the bare minimum, but to stay until the dust settles. And so Buddy ends up walking out of the alley. He leaves the alley, leaves the hedges, and then I check in the hedges. I look in the hedges thinking, what was he doing in there? Is he like just hiding in there? Is he taking a shit? Like, what's going on? And there's like 3 backpacks there. And I'm like, okay, he's stashing Buddy's stuff or his own stuff because he knows some shit's about to go down. And so he ends up going into some guy's backyard, to which, we're kind of following him around, and the cops show up and they start dealing with him. And so I end up coming back to the first guy who was laying on the ground in front of his wheelchair. I know you're probably still wondering about him, just like I was. So I came back and checked on him. And, I had already seen the paramedics start to come and help him out. And by now he's sitting back in his chair. I watched the paramedics as they drove off. This is kind of like... as I'm tailing the guy, I see the paramedics say thumbs up to the firefighters and say, yeah, we're all good. And so by the time the cops come and arrest our maniac here, our bag thief, who's the bag stasher, the bush bag stasher. That's what I'm going to call him, the bush bag stasher. The bush bag stasher. That's what I'm going to call him, because he's stashing bags in bushes. So after he's arrested, I go back and I check on Buddy that's in the wheelchair. The paramedics have already left, and he's sitting in his chair just kind of nodding off. Maybe he's taking a nap. Maybe he's had a rough day. I don't know, but he's nodding off in his chair. And the cops now that are with me, there's one other cop, and she's, trying to wake him up and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, we want to get you some help. And then the other cop who made the initial arrest comes and starts asking him questions as well. He's like, look, are you missing some stuff? We found these bags in these bushes. Are these yours? He says they're his. And basically he tells the cops and me and the guy that works at the lumber store to just fuck off and get lost. And I'm assuming that was kind of the same thing that he said to the paramedics, and that's why they left him there sitting in his chair. And it was really sad to see that ending. The first guy who's yelling at people and doing drugs on the streets, he got arrested. And I mean, it sucks to see somebody get arrested, but it is what it is. Like, if you're yelling at people, threatening people, and smoking drugs in broad daylight on the street, in my personal opinion, you don't really, you're not behaving up to the standards of society, and so you probably don't really get to participate in it as much. I think most people can agree that if you can't follow the law, you don't get to enjoy the benefits of society. And so that sucks. But the guy in the wheelchair, like, I just feel like it's so shitty to see people trying to help you when you're not willing to accept help. And I think that, as calloused as it seems, it's almost it's the appropriate response to someone not accepting help, to just, cut your losses. And you have to understand when it's time to help somebody and when someone's not willing to be accepting of the help. You really have to create your own filter personally, and you're going to have to live by your own moral code of when you're going to try your very best to pursue helping somebody, knowing whether or not they're going to be gracious of that gesture that you're doing, whether they're willing to improve, they're wanting to improve, they're willing to accept that they need to improve, and accepting help with that as well. And it comes down to the idea of, casting pearls before swine. If someone's not wanting help, not needing help, not even willing to accept that they need help or they should get help, then why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your energy trying to help that person? Because there's people out there that are begging for help, that need people like you, that need people that will help them. And so, look, I'm not trying to say don't help people, don't try to help people. I'm saying invest your help in people that are wanting to improve. And don't waste your time or someone else's time if they're not wanting that in the first place. They don't want to improve. So be it. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm praying for you, but my help is needed elsewhere. And so that's kind of the story I wanted to share with you guys. Eventful Friday afternoon that I had, and I hope you guys are doing well. So that's my little episode of the day. I just wanted to record that for you and let you know. It's a weird world out there, and we can't let that world dictate how we're going to behave and how we're going to act, and the type of people that we'll become. And on that note, I will see you guys on Monday. I appreciate the hell out of all of you. You guys are the reason that I do what I do. Make sure that if you get some benefits from these types of episodes, let me know about it. Leave a little review, rate it 5 stars on all podcast platforms. Please take the time to do that right now. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble or whatever, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share this with somebody that you love. And on that note, I'll check in with you guys on Monday. Much love and peace out, you beautiful human beings. I love you all. Bye.